Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, Balance Nation. Good morning to you. What's up, Kirk? Good morning, Carlos. And Wilton. And Melanie. And Kristen, too. Leanna from Canada is on the call. So every morning, one of the ways I start my day is I study, because when my brain is freshest, so fresh and so clean in the morning times. So what I do is I come outside and I get some skin in the game. What's up, Will? On this Friday morning, I actually just had a piece of gingerbread that I made last night. It's pretty amazing, with a big old lump of butter. That's not breakfast though, that was just a little something this morning. Good morning, Carlos, Brittany, and Rick. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little insight here into science versus mindset. And here's my little shtick, my rhetoric on that. So the thing is out there, and you guys know I refer to the noise and confusion of the info space, okay? So one of the things that I get that people want to know and they ask about is, of course, well, what's the difference in my perspective and balance protocol versus all the other stuff out there, right? Because it's always a competition, right? Good morning, Dr. Schumacher. And the thing is this: it's mindset, which includes point of view. So the interesting thing is there's a lot of biohackers out there. Good morning, Dion. You guys know that, right? You got this guy Max, you got Ben, you got Mike, you have the father of fraud, Dave Asprey. You got all these people that you embrace that term biohacking. I can't stand the term biohacking. If I haven't told you guys before, good morning, Kelly, is because it denotes doing something unauthorized, without authority, when you're hacking into the system, minus context, and you're just doing it for the sake of desire to have access. So I don't like biohacking. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, so without exception, good morning, Monty, there is no one out there who is a biohacker or claims the biohacking monikers, good morning, Sean, that I agree with or ultimately respect. Now, in totality, of course, remember I also say the truth is the truth no matter where it comes from, right? So I'm not talking about that. So the thing is it really comes down to just understanding and being real clear, because biohacking is our shortcuts. It's entertainment. What I like to do is edutainment, educational entertainment, not just entertainment. You know, I'm not a tambourine monkey. You know, those little one, you know, when you just cling, you know, I mean, just these singles kind of things. Yes, Anthony D. Clemente is a fraud also. And here, look up the term fraud. So you guys, whenever I use the term fraud, I mean it by its definition, okay? And you can Google it or DuckDuckGo it. And just look at the definition of fraud. So that's what I mean. Basically, taking credit for something that's out there. Anyways, generally the biohacker world and a lot of the noise and confusion is really males that are about age 20 to about 38-ish, and they're just trying to carve out a segment of the digital marketing niche for themselves. And nothing wrong with, you know, marketing forces. Like I always say, I'm a capitalist, capitalism for the win. But there's a difference in doing capitalism with integrity, right, and legitimacy. Rudy, good morning. So here's the deal. So what I've got is a way of trying to describe to you the difference in the way biohackers do things. And then there's another category. Jacqueline, what's happening? The thing is that you got these other types out there that love to quote the literature, the science, okay? You can't even in a full-time job keep up with the literature and what comes out and all these studies. There's a great article out there, there's in the Atlantic, called Lies and Damn Lies, in science and scientific reporting, I think is what it is. Anyways, the thing is there's a lot of money that we all want to make, yours included, yours truly. So the thing is that I want you guys to understand that it's not about that, okay? I'm not being duplicitous. It's just I want you guys to know how to think, not think what I think. This is why I put an enormous amount of time in answering questions and directly giving you my thoughts, my opinion. Everything I ever say is my opinion. That goes without saying, right? And opinions are like buttholes, right? So my opinions are basically buttholes. So you guys can take it or leave it, you know? You can wipe it or not. And that's the way you got to look at it, right? But at the same time, I don't attack people for a different point of view or who disagree with me. I love dialectic. I love conversation, because that's where the rubber hits the road. As you also know, the other C that I am is a constitutionalist. And if you go back to all the things that came about of bringing about that most amazing document in human history, was a lot of debate, a lot of robust disagreement and passions and stuff. So there's room for all that kind of fun stuff. But here's where my ramble's going. You'll also see a certain segment of individuals out there who their entire shtick, their rhetoric, is pulling up studies and quoting those studies to you. Right? There's a lot of them out there, and there's a few that I have some respect for in the way their brains work. But one of the things about Dr. AGB in the Realms of Balance protocol that you don't see that I'm heavy on, and that is the scientific literature, this study. There's even this whole thing on Facebook now. There's this, somebody came up with a brilliant traffic driving mechanism called, study finds. Have you seen these guys, in your threads? Studies find. Studies find that monkeys who smoke cigarettes live longer than monkeys who just, there's just all kinds of crazy stuff on study finds. I have had universities contact me personally and say, listen, what do you want the study to produce? And it'll cost you 40 grand. Swear to beep. I'm telling you guys, this is what they do. They will make and move the statistics and the numbers, and it's nefarious. I'm telling you, I've passed on all that stuff. Okay, you're right. Criticism is the backbone of scientific method. Now when someone's really bastardizing scientific method when they pull out the word consensus. This is what the left does, and the climate hoaxers say. Well, there's consensus. 97% of climate scientists. If you look into where that came from, it reveals the folly of it. It really tells you the story. And bear with me, guys, because I'm going somewhere with this. Because remember, I give context. So the upshot is that there is no scientific consensus. That's scientific method by definition, is proving things wrong. Coming up with a theory, gathering data, taking observations, and then give it to other people and have them prove it wrong, not prove it right. There's a big difference, right? Morning, Penny, if you're still here. So here's the deal. I'm not a fan of the literature and stuff. Now, I'm not a big fan of rat studies, why? Because they're useful for testing certain things, okay? But I'm going to give you the flaws here in just a second. The thing is that rats are not us. They don't have emotions. They don't have freedom to roam. They don't get on social media. They're not earthing. They're in artificial light. They're kept in cages. They're given a repeatable diet over and over and over again, okay? and you know, those kind of things, right? So there's a lot of context that changes the game when it comes to science. Good morning, Jerry. So here's the deal. I don't care for the biohackers that try to come up with stuff, and then of course they're always going to justify it with some type of bastardizing of science. You've got this guy now on, you know, I talked about a little bit, this David Sinclair. He's trying to now come into the market, and people are having him on, and he's talking about eating plants that were stressed, so we can look at that princess back there. We might have a little impromptu interruption here. Hold on a second. Come here. Is it locked? Aw. Go around to this one. Oh, is it locked too? Unlock it. You know how to unlock it. That's so cute. Guess my wife locked the door behind me. All right. Well, that's my little princess there. She's going to figure it out. There you go. See, that's a Beck. She knew how to figure it out. Come here, beautiful. You want to come? You're so beautiful. Oh, my goodness.
Ow.
What is on your dress?
Minnie.
Minnie. All right.
And Minnie was on the safari.
Where are you going this morning, all beautiful?
To safari and Epcot.
To Epcot? Okay, so you're going to Disney
And Epcot.
and Epcot. That's
And
very...
Hollywood Studios.
And Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
How old are you?
3.
3.
Yes. That's a 3.
That is 3. Well,
Uh-huh.
good job.
Like
I am so
me.
proud of you.
What's that game?
These are all my friends. They're all watching me on camera. You want to say hello?
Hello.
There you go, right. Hey, show them those pretty teeth of yours. Blam! Look at them straight, pretty teeth. Those are...
I don't have straight.
Yes, your teeth are straight. They would make Weston Price very pleased.
No, they open up.
Do you know why you have strong teeth?
What? Say.
Yeah. Do you know why? Because you eat lots of milk. That's right. We didn't do formula. Imagine that dairy being good for your body.
Milk make my teeth white.
That's right, man.
And it's a yummy red.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yes. It makes my tongue red.
Yes, it makes your tongue red. Are you stealing the show right here on camera?
No.
No. All right. Well, do you know that you're very smart?
Yes.
Do you know that you're very beautiful?
Yeah.
Do you know I love you with all my heart?
Yes.
All right. Can I have a kiss? Oh, thank you.
Oh, it did shake.
Oh, I didn't shave this morning. That's right. Okay, well, I love you. Go on in there. Oh, I love your matching shoes, too. You're so cute. You're welcome. All right. So back to science and mindset and biohackers. All right, so here's the thing. Oh, man. Now my other one's got to come and be on camera, you guys. Well, this is the Beck family. Look, you have a matching dress. And what is your name, young lady?
Aria.
Aria. And how old are thou?
6.
6. Are you losing your teeth? That's right. Let them straight, nice teeth, too. Okay, where are you guys going today?
We're going to Epcot, Hollywood, and Animal Kingdom.
Man, you guys are going to make the rounds.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you're going to make good choices?
We go to Hollywood Studios too, Aria.
Yes, she already said that. Okay, guys, I got to get back on here. They can only take so much cuteness. Okay? Whoa, careful, careful, careful. All right, I love you. Can I have some kiss? All right, off you go. You look gorgeous. Yeah, life sucks in the Beck house. They look like their dad. Anyways, that's what happens when you make out with girls. Where do babies come from, making out with girls? Okay, so here's the deal. Let me get to the brass tacks of things, guys. Here's the deal. You don't see me quoting science to back my opinion. Here's where my opinion comes from. Skin in the Game. It's a great book by the name of that. And the thing about it is firsthand clinical experience. And I've said it many times before, tens of thousands of patient encounters. I look at the dynamics of the individual and everything that makes them them, right? So these are the things that, why I don't care for people who quote the scientific literature as basis for their opinions. That would trump the clinical encounter with the individual patients, because the scientific literature has a sample homogenized population. Okay, whenever science is done to study the effects of something, they grab a small sample of population. And one of the things you have to realize is they're not always the most healthiest people in the world to have as subjects, because they're going to pay people to be guinea pigs, and those guinea pigs are oftentimes people of a lower socioeconomic status, which have all kinds of things inherent in their environment, lifestyle, mindset, and nutrition that will come into play in what they're going to see come out of their bodies. Does that make sense? So be mindful of that. But then there's some science that takes, like, elite athletes and this, that, and I get all that. Okay, so I'm not talking universally there. What I'm saying is it comes down to, there's a big difference between thinking statically versus dynamically. Okay, I don't think statically. I think dynamically. Okay. The term that I've used so many times before is a term that I coined, and I refer to it as fractal micronages. So if you ever look at fractals in the Hildebrandt equation, it's infinite. The more you zoom in, the more you think things. But within that infinite are patterns that play out over and over and over again. Okay? So that's the first thing. Okay? I think dynamically balanced protocol is a dynamic framework. It is not static. Okay? The second thing is I don't think homogenized, right? I think independent. Everyone's separate. I don't think, well, just, men age such and so, non-smokers try this drug. So in science, and when they're doing medical studies and stuff like that, they have what's called inclusion and exclusionary criteria. So one of the litmus tests that I want you all to give thought to adopting is when someone tells you something, okay, out there, that it does something, I want you, or some study, I want you to think about inclusionary and exclusionary criteria, okay? Because when we do medical studies, there's certain people that don't qualify for the study for one reason or the other. So that means there are things that are dynamic and independent that will skew the results of the test. Now, a lot of these scientific people will do that on purpose. They will include it because they want to steer what they find in the study, okay? Because remember, follow the money. So, inclusionary and exclusionary criteria. For instance, like somebody talked about, say, DiClemente. So he will, if you go to his opt-in, you opt in there, he'll just flood your box just like Dr. Jockers will, like Dr. Axe will, like Amy Myers will, like Isabel Wentz will, like Dave Asprey will, Gundry will, all of them. They'll just flood your box with a whole bunch of bullshit stuff, and it's all rehashed things like apple cider vinegar and all the things that apple cider vinegar does. Okay, so the problem there is there's no inclusionary or exclusionary criteria of who or who should not consume ACV. Okay, you could do the same thing when it comes to vitamin C or lemon water, right? Well, the interesting thing is lemon water and ACV have two entirely different effects. Lemon water, though it's acidic, will make the body shift more towards anionic or alkaline pHs systemically. ACV will make you more cationic or more acidic metabolically. So there's consequences. Okay, so it all depends upon the context of where you're starting at. If you are an overly alkaline person, which is easy to do, and it's not just about plants, by the way. You can actually do it by consuming a whole bunch of red meat. But I'm just saying, don't get me started. Anyways, the thing is that you might feel not so good or produce enough energy, and then what ends up happening is you are shifting yourself towards a balance point of inertia. And then what happens is you feel better because you added on cationic forming substance. On the opposite side of that, you can take people that are already cationic or overly acidic, and then you can add in lemon water in the morning, kind of a thing, and shift you more anionic, and what will happen is you'll feel better. So it all starts with you is the difference. You just can't say if you consume substance X, Y, or Z, it's going to do something, right? Which brings me to the next thing. So I think in Balanced Protocol is predicated upon thinking in terms of interactions, not actions. And therein lies the difference, right? So interaction, not action. So one of the things is like I use the example of baking a cake, right? So you can take all the same ingredients of like flour, water, eggs, and butter, and depending upon how you combine those volumetrically, you can either make a crepe or a cake. And then you could take those same things and say you're going to bake a cake, and you do it at high altitude. You try to bake a cake, at base camp, Everest, you're not going to get the same result as if you did it down here at sea level in Florida. The body, Brandon says, I thought the body regulated its own pH to 7.3. That is categorically false. It doesn't. Well, the body, there's all kinds of biological terrain compartmentalizations that have different pHs. If you pull the pH of the adrenal glands, it's very acidic. Different parts of the bowel are going to have different pHs. Blood pH is tightly regulated, but here's the thing. 7.35 to 7.45, okay, true. However, you got to understand, don't get confused by those little a numbers. That's massive. A 0.35 to a 0.45 shift is powers of magnitude. The pH scale takes big logarithmic numbers and puts them to smaller numbers. So don't do that. That's like saying, like, when you start buying and selling real estate, and you're like, well, okay, well, this house is, 10.8 million, and we want to give you 8.2 million. Doesn't seem like about a number. We're like, holy shit, that's $2.5 million. That's a huge difference. So as it scales, don't get lost in the numbers. Okay. So, anyways, so just to kind of recap, there's a difference between thinking statically versus dynamically, homogenized versus independent, and actions versus interactions, okay? So Balanced Protocol teaches you to think and operate dynamically, independently, and based on interactions of multiple systems. Kind of give you an example. I talked about this in a thread not too long ago. So like, for instance, a company comes on board Four Sigmatic mushroom coffee, okay? It's tasty. It's a great beverage, okay? Overly priced, but the convenience little packages are great. You pay for convenience, right? So here's the deal. So everybody goes, oh, I'm doing all the mushroom coffee. And so they got to all the biohackers, all the wellness mamas, the paleo moms, the this, that, and the others, literally everybody in the space. They just systematically go through the process of contacting them all and get them all to recommend it and drive sales. Okay? Capitalism for the win. But here's the problem, okay? Mushrooms like reishi and cordyceps and chaga, okay, they talk about immunomodulatory effect. This is true, but they don't know the dynamics of your starting point of what your immune system is, okay? So the thing is, thank you, Rachel, it is all about you, baby. It's all about you, okay? Not everybody else. So I talked about TH cell differentiation, right? So your immune system, that's like, again, like saying inflammation or saying automobile or, saying vaginas or penises. There's a huge range in variety, okay, in all those things. And so you can't talk in that kind of a universal term. So the thing is, when you say taking mushrooms for immune support, what kind of nonsense is that? Which immune system are we talking about? And based upon what? Right? It's like, well, this liquid will fill your cup. Well, what if your cup is only has 1 ounce of space left and you fill it up with that versus, fill it up with 8 ounces? Context, context, context. So the thing is on one level, mushrooms, by all these biohackers and these other people and stuff like that, will tell you that they're good for something, but guess what? They can also wreck you. Same thing, another context is like, say, vitamin C. They talk about vitamin C. Well, there's a difference between plant vitamin C, right, versus synthetic C, which I'm not opposed to, okay? Ascorbic acid is not the same thing as mineral ascorbates, okay? L-ascorbic acid is not the same thing as sodium ascorbate. Sodium ascorbate is not the same thing as zinc ascorbate. It's not the same. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So you can't just go and say vitamin C is great for this or that or is bad for this or that. It's all in the context of stuff, right? So there's a big difference, guys, in learning in real life versus academia. That's where I'm going at. And when I see all these biohackers posing as scientists, they have no damn skin in the game. They have not seen patients. And generally the people who haven't seen patients will have a piled higher and deeper at the end of their name, aka PhDs. Yes, PhDs. So you go and you do your bachelor's, you do your master's, and you get your PhD. You write your dissertation, and now you're the authority because you did all this stuff. And you could never see a patient in your whole damn life. You just read books and wrote regurgitated shit. Okay? Now, technically, I got about 23 letters at the end of my name. You know I don't ever put them out there. I don't talk about all my credentials and my 4 board certifications and my fellowship, because none of that shit matters to me. And I don't want it to matter to you, and I don't want you guys to think it matters to me for what I'm saying to you. What I want you to do is use the Dewey Decimal System yourself. I want you to research yourself. I want to teach you how to critically think. I want to teach you how to ask the right questions. I want to teach you how to find the own information for yourself. Now, I'm going to provide some of that stuff, and here's where I make my money. You ready? Okay, pulling back the curtain is by educate, motivate, and inspire. That's what I do. Okay, that's how it works. I'm going to teach you things, and you can't teach stuff in all these quick little videos and snippets and 7-minute YouTube videos and Instagram posts. Shit, I've been on here for 26 minutes, and I finally got to the point. And I appreciate you guys all staying in there, right? So the deal is I make no qualms about what I'm doing, okay? And you know why I'm the most expensive clinician out there that I know of? Because I am the best. I have no qualms of saying that I'm the best in the world. I actually got ripped in somebody's forum the other day by actually saying that. But hey, listen, if you think you're the best, well, fantastic, you're the best too. So that's it, right? And you got to pay for access. Now the cool thing is can I turn this into a commercial? Yes, I can. So here's the deal. What I did is I took a lot of my knowledge and I put it in talking into videos, and I created coursework. And I'm not talking about these short little courses that are little 10-minute videos. I'm talking about 40-some hours. It's actually even more than that now. I'm just used to saying 40 hours. And what's going to be coming forward, guys, is just again, so I've got 2 courses. The first one's going to be free. It's going to be called Balanced Protocol Prime. And Balanced Protocol Prime is going to walk you through all the tenets and principles of Balanced Protocol so you know what the protocol is. Okay, because that's important. Then the second thing is going to be Balanced Protocol Enviro, and it's 2.0. And that's where I go through air, water, light, sound, EMF, and food, okay? And I'm going to give you a ton of context, okay? So the bottom line is none of that's ready yet. I just want to let you guys know I'm re-putting on a platform because, as I mentioned here in another thread, is that Facebook is the king and queen and everything of censorship. And I don't want to be censored. So you guys, I'm building out a platform that is going to be pretty amazing and robust. Okay, so we can come and talk freely and learn to think this kind of stuff. When, Carla says when, as soon as I can. I had a developer and I had to fire him a week ago, and not start from scratch, but hire another one because just people take too dang long. So I apologize for the delay. I know I've been talking about it all. It's the same thing as, well, when my book's coming out? Well, the book's going to come out too as soon as I get all this other kind of fun stuff done. And then, of course, I got all my preceptees. The new training courses group is going to be starting here pretty soon. I did a post on that yesterday. If you're interested in becoming a practitioner and learning Balanced Protocol, it's expensive, it's convoluted, and it takes a while, okay? But boy, is it with it. It's just pretty amazing. All right, so guys, that's the biggest difference. It's like when people ask, well, what's the best deodorant? That's like asking, well, what's the best automobile? Well, you got to ask all kinds of questions, right? So I want to teach you guys to ask better questions of me. Ask me better questions, okay? Give me context, because you don't want to let my mind wander. I respect you way too much just to kind of give you a bullshit answer. Are you still taking patients, though? On a limited basis, I'm taking patients, me personally. And the reason is because I got too much stuff to do. But I have a bunch of clinicians that I have trained who do their cases with me. So people can contact me to become a patient, and I will match you up with one of my trained clinicians. So we can do that. Oh, Braden Pritcairn, what's up, buddy? I haven't seen you in a long time. All right, so here, does that all make sense, guys? So I want to teach you how to think, not what to think. Stay away from anybody who claims the moniker of biohackers, okay? They are all steeped in the Dunning-Kruger effect. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're selling you a bunch of information with no context of you. Without exception, I don't know one out there that I wouldn't recommend anybody do that, guys. I mean, we have to squash that. Carlos, talking about deodorant, your advice was the best, and I love not having to use that crap. Yeah, man, I you know, magnesium hydroxide powder, pop, 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 put it up underneath there, and it's amazing. You won't stink, you won't, you know, sweat and all that kind of stuff, and you can actually get some transdermal magnesium out of it. Okay, guys, so does all that make sense? We're at 30 minutes. I try to keep these videos not too long, but that's the big take home I was thinking about today, because people will send me a lot of direct messages and ask me questions, and I just want you to realize there's a big difference. If you want to save yourself from the noise and confusion, if you finally want the answers, understand there's no simple answer, because you are not simple, not a single one of you guys. You have a unique environment, you have a unique lifestyle, you have a unique mindset, and you have a unique dietary thing that you've been doing rinse, lather, and repeat for years, and you have earned your chronic condition. It's your fault. 100%. It's completely your fault. Okay? Now, the difference is, now what are you going to do? Right? Move forward. Balanced Protocol is a framework. It's not a rigid ideology. It is not a method to tell you exactly what to do. Right? You gotta ask the right questions. What do I have to add? What do I have to remove? Right? And then once you got some of that information, now you got to proceed with an order of operations. Nourish, balance, purify. You got to take time and build yourself up. Balance things out, then, you know, purify and rectify. You have to think about all the causes of disease, you know, nutrient deficiencies, microbes, stressors, allergens, toxins, all of those come into play. You just don't pick a niche of, oh, it's Lyme, oh, it's mold, oh, it's, you know, IBS. That's all BS. And then the thing is, then you have to apply all those things to all the systems of the body, not just all the wellness begins in the gut. No, it does not. I can't. That's one of my biggest things, is all these idiots who go, everything is in the GI and the microbiome. So let's prove that wrong instantaneously. Ready? Okay. If you stick your cell phone, we all agree, right, on your phone, you're sitting there all day, every day, and things like that, or whatever. Was that caused? Was that? And you have a brain disease, and your glial cells and stuff like that are all effed up. Was that caused in the gut? No. So I mean, it's the stupid thing about disease starting in the gut is just preposterous. Some diseases can. Anyways, you got to work on all systems. That makes sense, guys? So 2, 3, 5, 8 is the Balanced Protocol framework, supplied by the 4 factors of environment, lifestyle, mindset, and nutrition. So you see how you got all these things in play? This is why I can't have a niche. This is why I cannot be one thing. I just can't do it. All right, so that's my ramble for this morning. You just have to remember, guys, that there's forces out there that are predominantly marketing-based forces. And like I said, I market, yes, this is me marketing to you guys now. The difference is trying to give you education, so you can learn how to think for yourself and challenge what I'm saying, okay? So don't think statically, think dynamically. Don't think homogenized, think independently. Don't think of actions, think of interactions. That's it. So that's today's lesson. Hope that makes sense, guys. As always, live life in balance, and I love you, nation. I'll keep talking to you. I'm doing this kind of every day. It's good. It's therapeutic for me. So I'll catch you guys on the flip.